So 10 drivers at the moment have completed a lap time. We're still waiting on. Who are we waiting on? Diogo, Kobayashi. Kobayashi, that's not the layout. Let's go straight there.
Can I get an invite server? Wait, let me request to join you.
Yeah, well, again with him now.
Wait, I can join your party. Hold on.
Wait, is Bill Cal on? I don't think he is.
I think he's updating
Okay,
also.
Kobayashi's about to start. There we go then, another driver with some experience under his belt. Remained with AA Power over the winter break, and he's back for another season to try and put himself somewhere towards the front of the field. We'll see what he can do though.
Do you want me to help timing server?
He's pushing on. He's being very lenient with the track limits, which is, to be fair, what you have to do. But he's not taking enough risks to take pole position. But we'll see what he can do. As Sufa has now joined another driver in Kobayashi then to the line. What can the Belgian do? He was 11th place in his last qualifying session. He is going to take a 1 minute 7.5.
No, I'm fine. I ain't holy
Diogo
shit.
is now out. He hasn't done a lap in a while, so to be fair to him, it'll take some time to get back into the rhythm of things. No. Only if all four wheels go on. Right, Sufa's now here. Yes, you can do quali. We're still waiting on Diogo, Sufa, and Fagema to finish their quali laps. As Diogo is about to start for Chevrolet. Another Chevrolet driver. Only one Chevrolet driver's done their lap, and they're on pole position. So we'll see what Diogo can do. The third Irishman to complete a lap, and he's going to start now. Everyone stay out of the way of the cars, and please park your car off the track fully. Diogo pushing on, and that is a very decent line to take. Just keeping it within the limits. I'm very surprised actually that we've had no invalidations so far. Everyone has been well behaved in terms of the track limits. One driver at least will have penalty points on their license going into round two though. Right, 2 more corners to go for Diogo. Cross the Japanese airplane. Whoever's next to the end of the place to go is crossing the line. Diogo with a very competitive lap. It's a 1 minute 6.6, and he's right in the middle. Whoever's left, Sufa and for Gamer, one of you go. Sufa, you can go. I've got to find out. if you do it quickly before Super starts. So Super and then the Gamer will be our 14th and final driver, which I believe is the equal most drivers we've ever had in an FF3 race, and it is. So here comes Super for Grande Motorsport. There's a car flipping in turn one. I've checked it. Right, Super on his lap for Grande Motorsport, the Tunisian, trying to get a lap. That'll be decent enough. He's replaced Peacock, who's taken the jump up into FF2, and he will take over roles at Grande Motorsport this season, hoping to follow in Peacock's footsteps. Won the last race, obviously, in Buenos Aires. But at the moment, Sufa has done quite a decent first couple of sectors, and the final one, he'll be hoping for the same. Round the final hairpin he goes, which tightens on exit, and this seems to be a decent lap from Sufa. Where's he going to go? He crosses the line now to set a 1 minute 6.74, which is identical to Liam, but because he did the lap after, he will be behind. Right, for game you can go. Right, who are we missing? Bill Cal, Mr. Dave. Leon and Guesty.
What is a car doing up there, bro?
Right, there's a car on top of the bridge, we're going to ignore that. So, for Gamer, the first Spaniard to compete in FF3 since Pablo earlier last season. We all know what happened to him and the reputation that he had. The Gamer's going to start the portion now. And for Gamer has now started his lap. The pre-season test, he completed 24 laps, which was enough for equal second place, 5th overall with the lap time set. He'll be happy with 5th place today. Thanks, Polly. Puts him in a good place on the grid as he'll pass the Grande Motorsport car above him on the bridge. So the grid separated by 1.4 seconds, which is quite a lot in the grand scheme of things. The game is pushing on. He's very close to track limits, and he actually had to turn out of it because he thought he was going to cut, but he hasn't. It's all or nothing really now for Fagamer, who's trying to keep within the limits. Round the final corner he goes, and he does keep within the limits to set a lap time, a respectable lap time at that. He's going to cross the line and do a 1 minute 7.24 behind. Everyone leave. We're gonna have the same issue with people not being able to join again, I can tell. There's no one ready up yet. No one ready up. Everyone come up to the lobby and no one ready up. Whoever's ready up, unready up.
Super already.
So more people ready up, guys. Now that one person's ready up, it's obviously gonna destroy it. Who's in the game? Right, now everyone ready up. No one else joined. Right. Who are we waiting for? Okay, finally. Right, 14 cars on the grid, 20 laps to be completed. The weather looks very interesting, we'll say that now. 2 mandatory drive-throughs. You cannot pit on the final lap. You can pit on any other lap, even if there's a safety car, you're allowed to pit. Okay, so everyone grab their cars, line up on the grid, please. Make sure you're in the correct car. And we are ready. Okay, everyone on the grid, please. Ginger Lizard pole, Zeko second, third is Twix, fourth is Dice, fifth is Exarch, then it is Bucky, who's in Panning, seventh.
So tell me when to start the OBS recording.
Okay. Who are we waiting for? Super Mover, yeah. Then Hasdom. Hasdom, just get another car, fine. Get the light blue one. 20 laps. Pit stops are drive-throughs, so you just drive through the pit lane. Is there any questions before we start? It'll be on the leaderboard as well. Everyone's lap counter. 2 mandatory drive-throughs, yes. Is there any more questions? Lap 20 is the last lap, yes. No, there's 20. No, you do 20 laps. Alright, free keys, you can start.
I
Okay, is everyone ready? Yes, if you want to. Diogo, what's going on? Okay. Here we go then. For the first round in 2026 for Formula Fortnite, it'll be FF3. in the 4th season of FF3. It's lights out and away we go in Japan, and Zeko has not got away at all. Bucky's onto the grass and he's gone over the track limits. Ginger Lizard is in the lead and he's reclaimed the lead as Liam is up and over nearly. For Gamer's had issues and Dice is off as well. And Ben now forced the Porsche off. Dice has had an absolute nightmare. It's chaos further down the field, but out front, Ginger Lizard has weathered the storm, which he might have to do later in the race, but he is remaining in the lead at the moment ahead of Squix. Exage is third ahead of Zeko, who had a terrible, terrible start from the front row. But Ginger Lizard in the lead. All 14 drivers still running as he now hits the track limits, and Squix is on the inside for Winston Gould, and we do have a battle. Zeko is up and over. He's upside down. And he's going to cut through the barriers and get back on track. That is definitely going to be looked at. Zeko has gone through, and the two have gone off in the lead, and Exage has nearly gone through for the lead, but he is into the pit lane anyway with Zeko. Multiple incidents on lap 1 as we start lap 2. DRS is not enabled until lap 3. Kobieki is into the pits. And they're still battling for the lead. Squix and Ginger Lizard. Diogo, from 7th on the grid, is already up into the podium places. Lots of things to be looked at. It was Zeko who cut through the barriers after flipping upside down. Not his fault, but it might have been deemed as an unsafe rejoin or cutting the track, which will need to be looked at on the replay. DRS will be enabled on lap 3. Yes. So, 4 drivers have been into the pits. Exage is the lead driver that has pitted already. And look at this. Diogo and Benji battling away, the 2 Irishmen battling over the final podium position. Ginger Lizard running away with it out front. As we are on lap 2, we're about to start lap 3, and drivers already into the pit lane. It's Ginger Lizard from the lead. Where's he going to come out in terms of Exage? That's what we need to look out for. DRS will be enabled now. DRS is now enabled. Ginger Lizard's going to come out side by side with Exage. This could be for the net lead of the race. And Exage has got the job done into turn 2. But they're side by side. Ginger Lizard trying to force the deal. But yet again, he has to lock in behind. He has to lock in to get past Exage. Zeko's in that fight as well, but obviously he is under investigation. As Squix is side by side with Diogo for the lead. They're battling each other. They're losing time to the drivers that have already pit. And surely it has to be not the smartest of decisions. It's lap 3 in this Japanese Grand Prix. Kane won the season opener last season, and we all know what happened to him. He went on to win the championship last season. Diogo is now going to be into the pits. Bocky has had an issue on the final corner. He's been spun around. He'll now come into the pit lane. They're 3 wide nearly for the lead of this race. Benji is now up into the lead. So Benji for Winston Gould, side by side with his teammate, the Irishman and the Brit. And there's a huge accident behind Diogo. The green flags are back out, but disaster for Diogo. Flipped upside down. We didn't exactly see what happened, but he did come together with someone. And they're 3 wide further back. That is for the battle for P8. As for Gamer going slowly in the middle of the field, they're now 3 wide, and that might have allowed Squix to get out of DRS range of the cars behind him, as Benji has to leave the room for Gamer. And JK King, who started all the way down in 12th, and he was last at the end of lap 1, he is up into P4. Anything can happen as Squix hits the track limits. And now he's into the pit lane. Same with Benji, same with JK King. They're side by side in the pit lane as well, actually. For Gamer and Sufa, yet to pit. Exage will come out in the net lead of this race. And look at how much they've lost. Squix, Mr. Dave, I mean not Mr. Dave, Benji, they are so far off the lead. That's what happened when they stayed out and battled with each other. And Liam has now come together. They're 3 wide. The three Winston Goulds mixed with Hasdom at the back of the field. Bocky has been into the pit lane. Kobiecki and Diogo just behind after their respectable incidents. We're on lap 5 of 20. And the rain is possibly on the horizon here, which could change the driving style up and possibly make it harder to overtake with no DRS. So get the DRS overtakes done while you can. Super and Forgamer's going to get the move done with DRS. They're working together out front, which is a smart thing to do. Into the pits come Hasdom and Liam. That is their second time through the pit lane, which is all they have to do. They complete both of their stops before the end of lap 7, which is decent. Now, if there's a safety car, they do not have to pit. As JK King's been over the track limits, he's dropped off the back of that 4-man pack, which is in the battle for P6. Any points, obviously, in the season opener is just very valuable. The season is not decided by race 1. That's what you need to remember. It's a long, long way to go. 18 rounds as well as 3 sprint races. There's a long way to go this season for these 18 drivers. And the light rain is now hit here in Sendai. And for Gamer out front, look at this. It does change a little bit the driving style. It's not as much as we've seen in previous years. Obviously, Switch and Dice still side by side. So Hasdom down into P14. Not ideal for Grande Motorsport, but that sums up their season last year as a whole. So now the rain getting heavier is Benji and JK King side by side. This is the updated weather system though, the located weather device. Could rain in different parts of the circuit more than others. Could we see puddles form later in the race as well? It is forecast to get heavier at the end of the race, but if we get a safety car, we could see thunderstorms right at the end, which could really shake things up. No DRS, the rain is heavy enough on the straights for no DRS. So Sufa and Forgamer out front, they are yet to pit. Then you've got Ginger Lizard, Exage and Zeko behind. They are also yet to pit once more. The two out front haven't pit at all yet. All 14 drivers still running. We're on lap 8 of 20. We're nearly at the halfway stage as we start lap 9 with Sufa. Benji hits the track limits and frustration beginning to set in for the Irishman as JK King will be frustrated behind him as well. As Exarch now hits the track limits just ahead of his AI Power teammate JK King, who's trying around the outside of Benji if he can make this move stick on the straight. He's going to be too far behind to be on the inside. But Benji does give him space. He's going to have the inside though after 2 corners. And Benji should be clear. Kobiak and Liam side by side. Lufa's now hit track limits from the lead, and he's into the pit lane. Swift into the pits. The game is going to come in as well. So is Benji. Obviously, all incidents that you have, make sure to send a clip of them in stewards after the race to be investigated. And at the final corner, Rocky, JK, King, and Hasdom all over the track limits. It was a chain reaction caused by the Macedonian. Into turn two, Benji and Liam are side by side. Those two are teammates. So this will be interesting to see what happens between these two. Liam is clear and he's got the move done up into ninth place. So the gap between the top three and fourth place is absolutely ridiculous. It's at around 10 seconds between Exarch and Dice at the moment. And Ginger Lizard, as Dice comes into the pit lane, does still have to pit, but could be on for a serious result as Sufa has gone across the track limits. But Ginger Lizard, what a statement this has been. Obviously, 1 point for pole position as well, which is crucial at the end. That's 18 points up for grabs throughout the season for qualifying, which is at the end at the end of the season. It is a big haul of points that you can get. So Ginger Lizard could be taking home the double race win and pole position, which has only been done 5 times previously. Kobayashi, Rocky, JK King has done. You're starting to feel in this pack racing environment at the back of the field, once you're behind the driver, you feel that they're slower than you. You can't really do anything. You're stuck, especially in the rain, as into the pits come the two race leaders, the Brit and the Irishman. How close is this going to be on exit? It's not even going to be close at all. Ginger Lizard, 2 pit stops completed, and he is way out front. No save Bocky's dropped off the back of the field. It's not enough for a safety car. It was a clear track. And we carry on racing. Lap 14 of 20. I'll tell you what, a safety car would really throw a few things into the mix. There's the rain. Down in turn 1, turn 2. Staying pretty light in this part of the track. And then you get to the hairpin turn 4, definitely where it is heaviest at the moment. We could see the thunderstorms come from around there in the latter stages of this race. Hockey is having a terrible, terrible time. Super and Gamer are now side by side. These two were lead. Becky and JK King are side by side here. There's not enough room to be left, surely. But Kobayashi will leave the space. Didn't really have to. He was defending fresh air there. And JK King spun around at the hairpin. So AA Power has descended into chaos. Backside is the only driver keeping this team in order at the moment in P4. Ginger Lizard, who saw this coming from the Chevrolet driver? The forecast has been set. Lap 16 of 20. And Costom is finally making a move down the inside of Kobayashi. Is the door going to be left open for JK King? No, it's not, unfortunately for him. Squix has hit track limits at the final corner. He's under pressure from Super Chevrolet. At this stage in the Grand Prix, you have to think, can Chevrolet win this Grand Prix with Ginger Lizard? It's becoming very probable that he will. Chevrolet have never won a race in F3. JK King gets past Kobayashi. Bocky's still at the back of the field in 14th. The only team yet to win a race in the 4 years of FF3 might be about to change that. Can they go and win the championship? Can they go and win things bigger than this Japanese Grand Prix? That'll be the thoughts for Ginger Lizard, Zeko just behind him. And they've been pretty well behaved as everyone so far today. As we got a driver in the wall, and it's Bucky in the gravel trap. Don't think there's any things to get him off. He is off the track, but he is off the track, and he is now left, so it is fine. That's recoverable. So the car is removed, and the race can go go on without a safety car. It wouldn't have done anything anyway because it would have ended under safety car, which isn't exactly what we would have wanted. But one retiree in this Japanese Grand Prix, and it's Boki, who watches on from the sidelines for his teammate who's about to claim a debut podium. Dice, what a recovery for him from his debut in Buenos Aires, where he finished P10, P4 on the grid. He took advantage in the opening few laps and he's up into third. There's a small battle between Diogo, Liam and Mr. Dave that's going on. Liam is in an Irish sandwich as now they're going to go side by side because Diogo hit the track limits and Benji might fancy a move on his teammate here for the final point in this race. This is the battle for P9 and P10. His next lap will be the final lap, and Ginger Lizard, desperation sets in for Benji now as he's going to try and send one down the inside of Liam, and he does. Can Liam send one back down the inside of his teammate? Yes, he can. Benji's still going to be there, though he has to leave the space, but Benji backs out of it. Job done for Liam. He is up ahead of his teammate yet again. But Ginger Lizard, what a race this has been for Ginger Lizard as he starts the final lap now. Ginger Lizard 123, who competed in FF4, never won a Grand Prix, only claimed pole position once. And Chevrolet for the first time after over 25 completed races as a team, as a constructor. They have never won before. 11 races in Ginger Lizard's past in Formula Fortnite 4, in Formula Fortnite 3. He moved teams over the winter, and on his first race back in the Chevrolet outfit, Ginger Lizard wins the season opener in Japan. What a statement from him! What a statement from Zeko! On debut, the Irishman is on the podium, and Dice will take a first podium in FF3. It's Exarch ahead of Squix, ahead of Super. For Gamer leads home Diogo. Liam will finish ahead of Benji. Squix is the highest scoring Winston Gold driver here this afternoon. Hasthom will come home for a disappointing P11 ahead of JK King P12. What could have been if the battling didn't get as bad as it did in the final stages? Kobieki will be the final finisher for P13, and Boki DNFs from P14 in the race. But what a statement from Ginger Lizard. He wins the season opener. He only got his seat a couple of days ago, and he's taken that advantage with two hands. And his 12th race in Formula Fortnite will be met with an appearance to the top step of the podium in the Japanese Grand Prix. Interesting race, definitely lots to take away for all of the teams and all the drivers too. What can be learned from this experience as we head on to round 2, which is quite shortly. It won't be next week, it'll be the week after, and it'll be the Urban Grand Prix. The Monaco of Fortnite Racing will host round 2, where we'll continue the battling in Asia, and Malaysia will host their 4th race as a circuit in FF3. But it's Ginger Lizard ahead of Zeko, and the podium for Dice. Moldova, for the first time, will be the 11th different nation to grab a podium in FF3. So well done to Dice for that.